Do you know
Nice.
it's close
Uh,
to São Paulo and Rio.
yeah, I was actually in Rio for a few months, visiting a friend recently, and also watching the World Cup. But I really liked it.
Did you watch the Brazil versus German game?
I was at a party with all Brazilians. It was pretty bad. Um,
Yes, yes. Until today.
yeah, what happened today? Did they play again?
No, because we've been talking uh, about that
Uh,
game, and we used to say, what can I tell to my grandson, for instance? I saw Brazil losing a game for 7+1, 7-1 to Germany. Wow.
yeah, it was pretty painful to watch.
Yes, and Brazilians are so creative to create jokes, and there was many jokes about that game here in Brazil. Because I
Hmm.
don't know if you know, there is a company, a German company here who produces some cars, and it's
Okay.
named Volkswagen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a car named Gol, and Gol is when you point up, it's the same word in English, Go. And here in Brazil, we used to say, not even Volkswagen can make 5 goals in 20 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good
Yes,
one actually.
yes, and many others I don't remember now, but at that time it was so fun.
There's a really good one in English, if you don't mind. How many
No, no
goals did
problem.
Germany score against Brazil?
Mm, it's happening.
Like a Brazilian. So it's a pun on the word Brazil.
That's
It
true.
scored like a Brazilian goals.
Brazilian, yes, that's unfortunately. Wow, it was a
Yeah.
shame for us, but what can you do?
Not much. Just gotta play better the next time, I guess.
I hope.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm
did
gonna tell it to my friends. Brazilian.
yeah, they scored a Brazilian goals.
Mm,
But good. And David, welcome back. David, how's it going?
Hi Joshua, nice to see you again. Everything is
Nice.
okay, thank you. And you?
Okay. Cool. And so yeah, let's get started on today's class now that we've got two people. So David, can you read the title and the next couple of lines?
Business meetings. In today's lessons, we will talk about attending meetings, talk about giving opinions in meetings, talk about cultural difference in meetings.
Good. So I noticed differences. Can you repeat differences?
Differences.
Yeah. And then cultural. Cultural.
Cultural.
Good. Cultural differences.
Cultural.
Can you repeat one more time? Talk about cultural differences in meetings.
Talk about cultural differences in meetings.
Good. Cultural.
Cultural.
Perfect. Really nice work. Okay. Let's go to the next page. David, can you ask Ramon the first question?
Okay, do you like meetings?
yes, yes, I used to like meetings, unless they are kind of boring or so long. But in general, I like.
Okay. But in general, I like, we need to use them at the end. I like them, or I like meetings. So we need a pronoun or a noun right at the end.
Okay.
Okay. And so, good. And what about you, David? Do you like meetings?
Uh, Meetings about business or about, yeah, about business, right?
Yeah, about anything, really.
About anything, yeah, I like meetings about the, yeah, if you are going to have fun, yes.
Okay. So usually meetings tend to be about something related to work. You could have like dates or get-togethers, which are with more like your friends, but a meeting has something to do with work or school, um, or maybe even education.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, no dates, no.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think that meetings are boring, but it's an obligation for working.
Okay, yeah, so they're a little bit. Good, okay. And Ramon, can you ask David the next question?
Describe the perfect meeting. Do you talk, listen, view a PowerPoint, a movie?
Okay. Okay. I think the perfect meeting would be like in the beginning. The the presenter or the
Yeah.
yeah, it's right to say that the
Mm-hmm.
presenter make an introduction with PowerPoint, and after that we take a break, um, and at the end we watch a video.
Nice. Good. That sounds like a good meeting. Goes over a lot for sure. Okay, good. And Ramon, what about you? Can you describe a perfect meeting?
Yes, I accomplish with David. It would be the same thing, but sometimes it will depend on kind of meeting, on kind of person you have there, because I mean, in some meetings there are some people who are trying to cut you out every time. So this kind of meeting you can't have a video. We have just to talk a little bit and finish the meeting.
Okay. So some people cut you out,
Hmm.
or interrupt you.
Yes, yes. I try to explain that to interrupt. Can I use a phrasal verb to that, like cut out or cut?
Cut you off, or cut off what you're saying.
Cut off. Yes, yes. Because I
Um,
said cut out. It's cut off.
yeah, which
Okay.
isn't too bad. I think it's understandable for sure. It's not as normal. Cut off or cut you off, cut off what you're saying, interrupt you.
Okay.
Yeah, jump in. You cut in. You could say people cut in all the time. That's another one. So cut in, jump in, interrupt. Yeah, really good. Okay, and Ramon, can you ask David actually David, can you ask Ramon the last question? David, can you ask Ramon the last question?
Have you ever been in charge of a meeting, and did you enjoy it?
Yes, yes, yes. I've already been in charge of many meetings, and I used to like them.
Nice. And I used to like them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Really good. Good answer. And David, what about you?
Um, um, yeah, yeah, could be. Yeah, I have been in charge of meetings, and more like, for example, presentations for the class about some topic, and it's like I do a presentation in PowerPoint and I talk about the topic, and, and no more.
Nice. Good. And that's it. Really good answer. Okay. And do either of you have any questions on this page?
No.
Okay. Let's do a little role play. So let's have David. Can you play this presenter? And let's have Ramon. Can you play the guy asking the question?
Mm-hmm.
And so Ramon, can you ask David the question? And David, can you answer?
Okay, David, you are showing me a graphic about our company. Can you explain me what this graphic mean?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you well. Could you repeat?
I'm sorry?
I couldn't hear you well. Could you repeat the question?
Okay. David, you are showing me a new graphic for me. Could you explain me a little bit more about this graphic?
Okay. Okay. This graphic represent this graphic represents the situation of the company in the last year. We can see in this graphic that the company increased their sales in 20% during the last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and based in this graphic, can we make a forecast for this year?
What is a forecast?
It's like a prediction.
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. I think based based in the
Based
image we
on.
sorry. Based on that image we can make a prediction that the company is going to be sustainable in the market.
Okay. And how many percent do you believe our sales are going to be raised?
Okay. Uh, I would say that is a tough question, but I would say maybe between 10 or between 10 and 20. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that was awesome, you two. That was really, really good. Both of you, great talking, great sentences. One small thing that I noticed both of you, based in, we want to say based on. So based on this graph. And that was something that both of you did. Um, really nice use of forecast, Ramon, and good describing, or good description of it. This last question that you asked, Ramon, can you repeat it?
Mm-hmm. But what percent? By what percent are our sales going to rise?
Yeah, so by what percent are our sales going to rise? Or um, how, we wouldn't start with how, we're talking about percent.
How much?
How many
Okay.
percentage points, you could say? How many percentage points are we going to, our sales going to rise? Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because I asked it in passive voice, something like, let me try. How many percent our sales are going to be raised or risen? Is it
Yeah,
right?
no, we wouldn't say that by how many percent. We would say by how many percentage points are our sales going to rise. But yeah, passive voice always sounds a little bit awkward. I think the way that you mentioned it, I can't remember either how you did it, but it was a little bit awkward.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, that was awesome. You guys again did really well. I was surprised. Any questions on this page?
No, just
No,
Okay,
no.
cool. Let's go talk about some of these phrasal verbs. And let's start with Ramon. Can you read the title and the first three verbs?
Mhm. Vocabulary. Define the word or use it in a sentence. Run into. Um, in a business context, I guess run into could be something like to work in or to deal with some situation. Is it?
Not quite. Sorry about the sneeze too. Um,
Okay.
to deal with the situation, it's a little bit different than that. Um, David, how would you explain run into?
okay. Um, Usually I don't have idea.
You have no
um,
idea?
no.
Okay. Uh, David, can you read that example?
Okay. Uh, I run into a small problem in your report. Bob, I ran into Bob on the street yesterday. He said hello.
Yeah, and when we say ran, it's got that yeah sound. So it says ran, ran.
Yeah.
Perfect, ran. What about now? Does that help with run into?
Like, find,
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like to find. It would be maybe a better one to meet unexpectedly. Could be a good way of saying it to meet.
Spontaneously,
Excuse me?
spontaneously, but no, I don't.
Yeah, spontaneously.
Yeah,
Spontaneously. Can you repeat?
spontaneously, spontaneously.
Yeah, spontaneously. Perfect. Okay, and David, what about this next word?
Think about this. I think is literal, no? Is think, yeah, think about.
Yeah, to like consider, maybe. But literally, it's just to think about. Um, good. And Ramon, what about the next one?
Craft? Mm, let me think. It could be the same thing as the run into.
Hmm?
Could it be the same thing as run into?
Yeah, it is. It's also, oh, it's also something else. So it is the same thing as run into, but it's also something else. Any ideas of what else it could be?
No, no idea, in fact.
Maybe that's an example. David, can you read the example?
I don't want to come across as cold, but you need to take a shower.
Yeah, maybe rude, or you need to study more. Um, Something like that. And so what would that be like? I don't want to come across as rude. I don't want to come across as cold. I don't want to come across as a jerk. Yeah,
Could it be? Could I use the something like to be seen as something?
yeah. To be seen as something, to seem like, definitely. I don't want to come across. I don't want to seem like I'm rude. I don't want it to be seen as like a rude person for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
but there are two different definitions for this one, and those are each one.
Mhm.
David, what about the next one?
Compound. No, no, I don't know.
Okay. Do you have any idea, Ramon?
Countdown. I'm gonna try to explain. It would be when you invite someone or you need someone to do something, and you have a certain that th- these people will help you.
Yeah, when you are certain that these
You
people.
are certain. Mhm.
I know that. You
Yeah.
continue.
Is that a
When
verb? Is that a verb similar to certain? Noun. I mean, is that a noun?
when we're certain,
Yes,
I think
because
it's
I have the ta-na-na, something like a certain because I try to use it as a noun, and in fact there is no a noun like certain.
yeah, an adjective actually. So I'm certain. It's just describing a way of being. So he's a very certain type of person. You could describe somebody as, um, yeah, but it's an adjective.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so he is certain. It's like saying he is blue. Both of those would be adjectives, just describing,
Hmm.
descriptive words.
Okay, I didn't know the second one.
He's blue. It's either describing he's sad. He's sad. Um, he is blue. Um, those are kind of synonymous. Blue is also a color, which is just it's a
Mm-hmm.
clear adjective. But yeah. Good. And David, what about the next one?
Try out. Try again? No.
Not quite try again. Um, what if you're working and you have an idea and you tell the idea to your boss and he's like, yeah, we'll try it out.
Yeah, well, implementation
Yeah, maybe like attempt.
attempt.
Yeah. Okay, and Ramon, what about the next one?
Blue cover. I guess it's to observe something, some job or some situation, and trying to find a solution to that.
Okay, I think that's good. To observe something. Usually it's more like to revise. Is maybe a better word, a better verb. To revise something to make sure that it's correct. Yeah, to look at something and make sure that there are no errors.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, but good, really nice job. Does everybody, or do either of you have any questions on this page?
Oh.
Okay. And actually, no, we're good. You guys are good. David, can you read the title?
Dialogue with special verbs. Read the dialogue and fill in the blanks.
Yeah, and dialogue, one more time.
Dialogue.
Good, dialogue. Okay, and Ramon, can you play Matt? And David, can you play Olivia?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And hey, Olivia, I was looking over your report this morning. It's really good.
Well, thanks. I worked on it pretty hard. Have you uh, try out? No. Have you run into? Yeah.
Good.
Okay. I haven't came across in this case. I haven't came
I
across
haven't
any.
come.
Okay. I always get mistaken by this pronunciation of this verb in past. I
That's okay.
haven't. Mhm. I haven't come across any errors yet, but I look out for them. I do think you should. Um, think about changing the font though. Comic Sans is very unprofessional. That's true.
Thanks. It needs to be perfect for tomorrow's meeting.
Mhm. You can always count on me. Count on me.
Yeah, you can always count on me. I think you pronounced it really well the first time too. Um,
Count?
yeah, you can always count on me. When you say it quickly, count.
Okay. Because I thought Kant could sound a British for the pronunciation of Kent.
Yeah, you definitely want to be careful. Count. But yeah, so yeah, say it one more time for me. Count.
Count.
Good. Yeah, that sounds perfect. And
Okay.
David worked. That's the ed ending. So it just sounds like a T. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Work.
Yeah, I worked on it. Good. And do either of you have any questions on this page?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
good. And let's look at this. Ramon, can you read these two idioms?
Can I jump in here? May I say something? You have the floor. You can say something.
Good. Okay. perfect. And Ramon, can you ask David the first question?
Uh-huh. David, when was the last time you asked to jump into a conversation?
When was the last time? In this class a few minutes ago.
Nice. Okay, good. Um, yeah, that's good. And David, can you ask Ramon the next kind of question? Can you read the sentence? And Ramon, can you answer?
Okay. Imagine a situation where someone might ask to jump into a conversation.
Imagine this. Let let me think. Can I describe this situation?
Yeah, just describe it.
Mm. So it's common when you are in a brainstorm session and everyone trying to point out some questions or some answer or some suggestion. So it used to happen every time in brainstorm, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely always happens in brainstorms. Um, for sure. That's a really great example. Okay, and David, can you read those other two idioms?
Uh, Cut in is interrupt, and chip in is add your.
Okay, add your opinion. And so the only thing that I saw in this was cut in and interrupt. So it has this soft U sound. So can you repeat cut in
Korean.
and interrupt? Interrupt. Sorry, David, can you repeat interrupt?
Oh, okay. Interrupt.
Yeah, interrupt. Good. Really nice work. Okay. Do either of you guys have any questions on this page?
Can you create a sentence with chip in for me to create a context?
Yeah, for sure. So Ramon, pretend you're sleeping, or pretend David is sleeping in a meeting. Um, and I'm the boss, maybe. I could be like, excuse me, David, can you chip in here? We really need to hear what you have to say about this topic. So maybe,
Okay.
yeah, can you add your opinion? Just chip in. Um,
Mhm.
or maybe if David feels like nobody's asking him any questions, he can be like, "Well, I've got something to say. Can I chip in here? Can I just chip in?"
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. And any other questions?
No.
Okay, good. And let's go on to the next page. David, can you read this beginning?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Two common phrases we used to disagree in a business meeting are: "You have a point, but I see what are you saying, but
Can you read the second one more time?
I see what you are saying, but."
Yeah, I see what you are saying instead of what are you saying.
Yeah, is the
It's okay. It's one of those things that happens to everybody. Good.
yeah, because I am accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Ramon, can you read A?
Mhm. I want to merge the two companies. David. David,
Just read
doesn't.
the. Yeah, good.
Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning again. I want to merge the two companies. David doesn't think it would be a good idea. David doesn't think it would be a good idea. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. And so, can you guys act out those roles?
Okay, I got it. Um, I see what you are saying, but I disagree. I prefer to don't merge the two companies. Just have separate the companies.
Okay. And how would you answer, Ramon?
Let me see. Okay, let's get to a meeting with our employees to decide that.
Okay.
Of course, it won't happen.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting solution. Okay, nice. And Ramon, can you read or David, can you read this next one?
I think we should ask our employees to work throughout the weekend, but Ramon thinks they should have the weekend off.
Good. Can you repeat through?
True,
Through. Through.
that is with O, no?
It's like an ooh.
Ah, true.
Yeah, and make sure you get that TH sound. So through. Through.
True. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
True.
it's a hard one. And yeah, keep working on that through.
Yeah, it's in Spanish. It's different.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay. And so can you guys act out those roles? And maybe David, can you start?
Yeah, I think we should ask our employees to work through the weekend, but Ramon thinks they should have the weekend off.
Okay, yeah, and so just pretend that you're actually working now. And so pretend that you have to tell Ramon that you think that your employees should work through the weekend.
Okay. So Ramon, actually, I think that our employees should have the weekend off because they are very stressed and they deserve the rest of the weekends.
Yes, I see what you're saying, but we need to rise our production. So I guess they can work this weekend again.
Okay, but yeah, you have a point. But what about if we gave them the weekend off and we hire new employees for just the weekend?
I guess it's pretty hard to do that because we just have 1 week to that. I guess the best option is to keep them working this weekend, and next weekend we can try to talk with them or maybe give them some bonus to this extra work.
Yeah, I think you are going to say that to them because I want to say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
good.
that's
That was good. One thing, Ramon, for this extra work. So we'll give them a bonus for it.
four.
But other than that, that was really good. Um, really nicely done. Okay, and do either of you guys have any questions on this page?
Merge is like example put together, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Your microphone sounds a little bit low. Can you turn it up a little bit?
Okay. And yeah, merge is like mix or put together.
Yeah, put together.
Put together, right?
Yeah, so make two things one.
Joshua, when we agree on something, is it common to use the word accomplish? I accomplish with something, for instance.
No. When you agree on something, I'm in in
Hmm.
accordance.
Yes,
Is
yes, or in a meeting, something.
Yeah, you could say I'm in accordance, I'm in agreement, I agree with you. I think, yeah, I'm of
Uh,
accord, which is, accordance is like, it's a really old word, so it's not
uh-huh.
used very frequently now. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good word, um, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not frequently used, I don't believe. I don't attend too many business meetings, but I don't think so.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Uh,
but so in this case I should use agree or agreement, right?
yeah, so I agree with you, or I'm in agreement, or I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Okay. Yes, because sometimes I used to use the word I accomplished, but I don't think it's a very used word.
No, accomplish is to like to achieve something. So I accomplished my goals. I achieved my goals. I made it to the top of the mountain. I accomplished what I set out to do. So
Mm-hmm.
does that make
Mm-hmm.
that's the definition of or the meaning of accomplish. You could
Okay.
also say I concur. It's another old word that means agreement. So I agree, I concur. It's
Okay.
kind of funny because it was used in a movie. Kind of fun, at least with the intention of being funny.
Mm-hmm.
But good. Any other questions?
No. No.
Okay, good. Let's go to the next page. Let's come back to that one. And let's go talk about buzzwords. This is good because we talked about it in the last class as well. David, can you play this guy? And we'll have Ramon. Can you play the boss?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the short guy, right?
Yeah.
Here is your buzzword. Bingo. Card for the meeting. If the boss use a buzzword on your card, you check it off. The objective is to fill a row.
You're all very attentive today. My proactive leadership must be working. Proactive?
Proactive.
Okay.
Bingo, sir.
And the other word is attentive.
Attentive, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
And David, can you
Yes, sorry, Joshua.
read the last word, David?
Bingo, sir.
Bingo, sir. Okay, let's go through that one more time. David, actually, Ramon, can you play the short guy? And David, can you play the boss?
Mm-hmm. Here's our buzzword bingo. No. Let me start again. Here's our buzzword bingo card for the meeting. If the boss used a buzzword on your card, you check it off. The objective is to fill a role.
David?
Yeah, I am lost, sorry. I have to.
Yeah, can you read the boss's part?
Oh, yes. You are all very attentive today. My proactive leadership must be working.
Good. And Ramon. Yeah, okay,
Okay?
bingo.
Bingo. Should I read again?
No, it's fine. Bingo, sir.
Mhm.
Okay, and so,
Okay. So,
sorry, I must not have heard you. It's okay. Um, so what do you guys think about this? What do you think it means? What's happening?
yes, I guess the guy explained to the other guy what kind of word or what specific word he have to use on the meeting to impress his boss. And
It's a
people
little
used to
bit
do
different.
the
I think it's a good idea. It's a little bit different. Any other ideas? Or maybe any other interpretations?
No, I
no
don't.
could be could they are trying to beat in which buzzword the boss would use.
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure. And yeah, so what's a buzzword? Can you explain a buzzword? It's right there too.
Mas a definition da. Can I read?
Yeah, if you'd like.
Mhm. A word or phrase connected with a specialized field group or group that usually sounds important, technical, and used primarily to impress laypersons. What is
Yeah.
laypersons?
Oh shoot. Um, it's a common person. And sorry, my program
Um,
crashed. But a layperson is just a normal person, is what it's supposed to be. And hold on while I get that back up. Okay. But yeah, so that's a layperson. And so buzzword bingo. So the boss is using buzzwords, or words that sound kind of fancy. They don't really mean anything. And so everybody's attentive. What's it mean that everybody is attentive?
It's very smart, very smart.
Not very smart. It's really close to smart. Attentive.
Put a lot of attention.
Yeah, working really hard to focus on what the person is saying. So focusing hard on the person, like on something. Exactly. So all of the workers are very attentive because they're listening for those buzzwords because they want to win the bingo game.
That's funny, and it happens a lot.
Yeah, and so he's mentioning that they're attentive and he's still using the buzzwords. And so one of the workers actually gets a bingo because proactive leadership is kind of a buzzword.
Okay, can I explain a buzzword as a cliché?
Yes, yeah, it's a very specific, specialized cliche. But yeah, definitely. Okay, good. And so do either of you have any questions here?
Yeah, Joshua, what is? Check it out.
Check it off. So if you have a to-do list, so maybe that's like, maybe the to-do list is teach a class. So I have to do that. When you check something off, you make a check mark on it. So you just mark it as done. So it's checked off.
Okay.
So this is a check mark, this kind of mark. When you check something off, you've done it.
Right. And the other one is fill a row. What is that?
What is the other one?
Yeah, the objective is to fill a row.
Ah, the objective. Objective. And so, Ramon, do you know what objective is?
No, no, fill a row.
Ah, okay, so the goal is to fill a row. A row is just like a series of boxes. So if you have Microsoft Excel, so there are columns and rows. And a column is up and down, and a row is side to side.
And what about fill?
Fill, so complete. So it's like to complete checking off.
Okay.
Okay, good. Really good questions. That's not something I would have noticed. Good. And okay, any other questions here?
No.
Okay, good. Really nice job. And let's go on to the next page. And David, can you ask Ramon the first question?
Yeah. Ramon, how are meetings run where you live?
Normally, there is someone who is in charge of the meeting, and these people used to play all the meeting, conduct all the meeting. I don't know what's the right verb. And people used to ask or comment about some points people used to point out on the meeting. Yes, that's it.
Nice. Okay, so people comment and point things out. Really good.
Does the verb conduct right to choose in this context? Conduct a meeting. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Ramon, can you ask David the next question?
what are some bad things that can happen in business meetings?
Okay. For example, that someone fall asleep.
Yeah.
That is not.
That's true. And it happens a lot.
Really? Have you either of you guys been in a meeting when somebody's fallen asleep?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. What
And
happened?
it's because yeah, they want to make a presentation in PowerPoint, so they they turn off the light and they
Uh,
close the, the things that is beside the windows for the light for
the shades. They pull the
yeah,
shades.
yeah, and everyone is like falling asleep, and mostly if it's in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Especially if it's in the morning.
yeah, especially if it's in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, Ramon, so what about you? Have you ever met or seen anybody get caught for falling asleep in a meeting?
Yes, yes. Many time. It used to happen, especially in long meetings. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, I cannot imagine. Have either of you ever fallen asleep in a meeting?
Not
Not yet, but I almost,
Not yet.
I almost got there.
in classes.
The-
Right.
I guess the worst part it's when you are almost sleeping and you are the presenter.
Yeah, that would be definitely the worst part. Everybody's looking at you. Um,
Yes.
unless you've already put everybody else to sleep. Um, but
What
yeah,
is
and what?
what is the expression you use when you have water in your eyes and you are almost sleeping?
When you have water in your eyes.
Yes, I don't know the right word there. Tears. Yes, when you have
Yeah.
tears because you are almost sleeping. Is that an expression or something to explain that?
I don't think so. I've never heard of anything like that.
Mhm.
In English, we'd say we can't keep our eyes open, or it
Ah,
feels like
okay.
my eyelids are heavy. Can't keep my eyes open. My eyelids are heavy. Either of those
Ah,
would work.
yes, yes. No, no, no. I guess it's the second one I have ever seen.
Okay. And David, what about you? Have you ever fallen asleep in a meeting?
In a kind of a meeting. But yeah, in classes.
In
Uh,
classes. Okay.
yeah, when it's in the morning, yes, I sometimes when I went to bed late and I have
Mm-hmm.
to wake up early. Yeah, and the presentation is boring.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's understandable. Okay. But good. Let's go on to the next page. Let's skip that one. Um, okay, and let's go here. And Ramon, can you read A and B and tell me which is worse and why?
Mm-hmm. Hey, a long meeting where you sit and listen. A meeting where you are expected to give your opinion. I guess the worst one is the letter A.
Okay, and why?
Because just sit and listen for a long time could be so boring. And the second one, when we participate, or when we have a real participation in a meeting, it's a little bit better. For instance, it's pretty hard to fall asleep in the second case, but in the first
Yeah,
one is easy.
definitely. Okay, good. One small thing, we'd use the gerund at the beginning. We'd say sitting and listening for a long time is really boring. Um,
Mhm.
okay. But yeah, giving your opinion, you're actually motivated. David, do you agree or do you disagree?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay, I agree. And so do you agree for the same reason, for a different reason? Why do you explain? Or can you explain why you agree?
Mm, yeah, I agree because uh, maybe the long meetings are always boring. Yeah, and if you don't participate, you can focus focus, and you fall asleep.
Yeah, if you don't participate, you can't focus. Good. Okay. And so, David, can you read the C and D and tell me which one's worse?
They are even late to a meeting, or D, even a meeting where nobody seems to be paying attention. Okay,
Good.
the worst is giving a meeting where nobody seems to be paying attention. Because if you came late, well, is like well, it's not normal, but it's understandable. But if nobody is paying attention, it's like you are wasting your time. You
Yeah.
are speaking to a wall, like a wall.
Yes. You're speaking to a wall. Good. Really good job. And Ramon, which one's the worst out of all of these? Which one do you think is the worst?
I guess the letter D, and I totally agree with David.
Okay. Okay, and you totally agree. Okay, good. Um, and David, which one do you think is the second worst? Which one's the next worst?
But, in the top one, I think the the top one is a long meeting. The second one is giving a meeting, the letter D,
Okay.
and the third
Okay.
one C, and the fourth B.
Okay. Nice. And I'm sure Ramon's is probably close to the same. Which one do you think is the second worst, Ramon? Arriving late or sitting and listening?
I guess the letter A.
Okay.
Letter A.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So really similar, just mixing up A and D.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Do you guys have any last questions before we finish up class? Any last questions?
Mm,
No,
So
no.
yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
But someone fall asleep in your classes.
No, I haven't had anybody fall asleep. I've had a few people just stop responding, which has been odd. But I don't think they fell asleep. Although I don't know.
Yeah, it's because you can see.
Don't be the first though. Yeah, you can't see them.
Yeah.
You can see. Yeah, I suppose that that help us that you can see what we are doing.
Yeah, and I guess sleeping students are less disruptive than some other types of students that you can have. But good. Good question. Any other questions before we finish up?
No more
No,
questions.
no
Okay.
more
Have a really
questions.
great night, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Yeah, really good class. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night too. Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
See